Welcome back, friends. Tonight we're getting into the news story that everyone's been talking about. It's going to shake you to your core. You're going to be wondering, how did no one notice this in the 2000s? Or how was this even approved to begin with? But before we start, I must offer a word of caution. We are about to watch a compilation of unsettling TikToks that might be triggering to some in the audience. So viewer discretion is advised. With that said, if you would like to see the full video and not just a few clips, check it out on Max because it's already streaming. All right, let's get it. Let's go. First up, I compiled a few clips from a couple different news agencies that have been covering the story. So these next videos are from the Daily Mail and CBS News.
In the early 90s, Nickelodeon was kid everything, and you better hope that your house had cable.
Wasn't there to educate you. We were there to have fun, to get slimed, to be entertained.
And this is when Dan Schneider arrives, Nickelodeon's golden boy. He created these shows that were hugely successful for them.
No one had ever really done sketch comedy starring kids for kids.
He launched the careers of child actors who became major stars.
For 20 years, he shaped children's entertainment and culture.
Thank you for being here.
But that marked one of the darkest chapters. Working for Dan was like being in an abusive relationship.
Dan's treatment of people on his shows was an open secret.
So my lawyer filed complaints, gender discrimination, hostile work environment, harassment, and it was so devastating.
How safe can any kids be in that environment? There would be even bigger problems down the line with actual pedophiles on set.
These are three predators who worked at Nickelodeon, all in a short amount of time.
Hey guys, we're ready for you.
It was a toxic environment. It made me trust people less.
We were there for so many hours, you get comfortable with people until you're not.
I had no idea what I was saving my son from. It was a house of horrors.
They find this enormous trove of child pornography.
The officer said we found Ziploc bags, each one with a girl's name on it.
11 charges of child sexual abuse related to a child actor.
It made me wonder who was being hurt.
I've been waiting 17 years for today.
It wasn't dealing with anybody on the shows or anything, right?
It was a child actor.
On one of our shows.
Yes.
Have you ever told your story publicly before?
If you've been online this week, you may have come across the scandal surrounding former Nickelodeon producer Dan Schneider, who was behind popular shows like The Amanda Show, iCarly, Drake and Josh, Victorious, and more. In a new docuseries, Quiet on Set: The Dark Side of Kids TV, Schneider is accused of inappropriate and abusive behavior against people on set, including child actors and female writers. Now he has responded to those accusations in an interview with actor Boogie, who was on iCarly. The TV producer spoke about Brian Peck, a dialogue coach who went to prison on 2 counts of child sex abuse. Schneider said he was not responsible for hiring Peck, who sexually abused actor Drake Bell, who worked on The Amanda Show and Drake and Josh. Schneider said he was more devastated by that than anything that ever happened to me in my career thus far. A Nickelodeon spokesperson told CBS News in a statement that it can't corroborate or negate allegations from productions decades ago. And in the interview, Schneider said he is embarrassed and regrets his behavior, adding he owes people a pretty strong apology. He also addressed some of the other allegations highlighted in the docuseries, including sexually suggestive jokes that he included in some of the shows, saying he's in favor of cutting them out now if they're upsetting to viewers. 2 female writers on The Amanda Show alleged they had to split a salary in order to get hired, something Schneider said he had no control over. He apologized for treating people poorly and admitted that he should not have asked people to give him massages on set. Former Zoey 101 actor Alexa Nichols slammed Schneider's interview in a new YouTube video, saying she feels no remorse from the producer and would have preferred a private apology. I know everyone deals with their own emotions in their own way, but I don't feel anything from you, Dan, Nicholas said.
I remember at the time, I think it was about like 2.5 years in, everyone went to Brian's house for a barbecue, and his house was a little off. He had a room that was just dedicated to like vintage toys and comic books, and he'd converted his garage into like a Planet of the Apes shrine. I noticed a painting in the room that stuck out to me because it had nothing to do with Planet of the Apes. It was of a birthday clown holding balloons. And Brian got very excited when I asked him about it. He flipped the thing around, and on the back it said, To Brian, I hope you enjoy the painting. Best wishes, your friend, John Wayne Gacy. It was a self-portrait of serial killer, John Wayne Gacy. At this point, I'm like 14. I didn't know like the details, but I knew like this guy's a serial killer who like killed a lot of young men and boys. My instinct was like, everyone has to see this. And so like all the parents and the kids come into the room, and then Brian presents the painting again. And Brian actually developed a pen pal relationship with John. He kept like this pile of letters and photos from John Wayne Gacy in his nightstand next to his bed. And he like pulls them out and starts showing them to me. Your instinct is to give someone the benefit of the doubt. If you've known them for that long, even in the face of like this really bad sign. It was one of those like classic failures of group psychology.
So next I wanted to share some TikToks I found online that might actually shed more light on the subject. These are produced by Liv B, Danzilla, 10 or Buds, and P Clicks. And I don't know about y'all, but I don't remember any of these. Let me know in the comments if you do.
13, Mr. All coming from the 3-point line right now. Oh shit, that nigga
Innuendo. Those are good ones.
Dan went overboard and just zoomed in too often on the feet.
Wow, they're really soft.
Zoomed in too often on the tongue licking things. Or something that just went too far.
Was anyone able to say anything, or was that like...
Oh, no.
Sentence number 3. I'm soaking wet! Quick, somebody bring me the ocean! No one would ever say that. Why? Because if you were soaking wet and you were upset about it, the last thing you'd want is for somebody to bring you the ocean. Because the ocean is even more wet than even the wettest person in the world. Have you ever tried to get your whole big toe in your mouth? Check this out. Sometimes I wonder if you can get juice from a potato. Is it possible for a teenage girl to drink water upside down? I'm thirsty. It's not possible. This has been me in a video. Come on, give up the juice.
Now these next ones are from Annalise and Avatar, and these videos actually get even creepier because Dan Schneider seems to be going from ordering sexually provocative scenes to allegedly using active grooming behavior, and some even speculate worse with Jamie Lynn Spears. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
About all of his inappropriate behavior with Amanda Bynes. There was video that came out showing him in a hot tub with her. He was always asking like her, other child stars, females specifically, to like give him massages. He would massage them, and he would really, I mean, I don't want to say this term loosely, but it appeared he was almost trying to groom these girls. From an outsider's perspective, that's just my opinion, because they would develop this very close bond with him to where they would be spending so much time with him on set, off set. He was doing all of this like behind the scenes vlogging recording, which was really weird. But what's so crazy about this, and the reason why I even used that term grooming, which again is just my opinion, is because with Amanda Bynes specifically, it got to the point where she tried to get emancipated from her parents to go live with Dan and his wife. When she was just a kid, just a teenager. I think she was only 15 years old at the time. Maybe 13 or 15. It's not confirmed, so I'm just going to say right now, guys, this is all speculation for what I'm about to tell you. But There was a secret account of Amanda Bynes on Twitter from almost a decade ago, where she proved her identity by showing her ID on it, uploading pictures of herself, things like that, saying that she was using this burner account because her parents basically had control over her actual Twitter account because of the conservatorship, and that she wanted to bring certain darkness to light. In those tweets, which at the time was kind of when Amanda started going on a little bit of a downward spiral, so people were taking it with a grain of salt, not really sure what to do with it, but in these tweets, she's identifying a lot of concerning behavior. And in one specific tweet, she writes out this message and has certain capital letters in it, kind of like a Taylor Swift code thing, where the capital letters all spell out Dan did it. There is also an allegation from her saying that she was pregnant at 13 years old and had an abortion. Kind of sharing with you everything that people are talking about because this goes so deep.
There are conspiracy theories that Jamie Lynn Spears from Zoe 101 actual baby daddy is Dan Schneider, the creator of the show.
Next, I want to say thanks to the people like Joy Sparkle Shine for creating these videos, because without them, this would have never been brought to light. Thank you.
Pickle Boy likes to hurt and tease Pickles.
Hello? Anyone? I gotta get something to eat. Pickle.
We just went with it. Pickles? Look, this is the mind of Dan Schneider. You gotta ask him.
There was this referencing to like, oh yeah, Dan just has a weird sense of humor.
That was like, pickles don't look like penises to you?
This is a children's television show. Wait, why is this in the show? What is the joke here exactly? There's this weird element of like, they all were able to like pull a fast one and get away with it. And that's like a part of the joke.
Brian Peck worked closely with Dan as this dialogue coach, and Brian is seen as this guy on set who's just helping with the kids. He's very much one of the cogs in the Dan Schneider machine.
I'll see you in hell.
Brian first connected with Dan's world playing small roles in Good Burger and Keenan and Kel.
Let's get these balls a bouncing.
And there are these behind-the-scenes clips where you see Brian Peck joking around on set.
I'm not just Pickle Boy, but I'm also a trained professional who works here on the set of all that. You can tell by my very important looking headset. I'm sorry, hang on. Yeah, do you want fries with that?
Everybody loved Brian. He was charming, he was clever.
But there are moments where Brian joking around on set feels a little bit off.
Later, Kyle.
Brian Peck does end up working with the Carells again on the Disney Channel show, Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. It shows that there are not enough protections in place to keep even convicted off of kids' TV shows.
I'm Carly Shay, and this is our very first webcast of a little show we call iCarly.
If you've got a child aged 9 to 12, or even a daughter like mine who's 14, chances are she's watched Nickelodeon's iCarly. It is a ratings blockbuster.
It hit at just a particular cultural moment. It was the early years of the internet. iCarly is this internet show. It felt cutting edge to teenagers who saw it. This is pre-YouTube generation. So there was also this component of real life that I think hit people in a way that his other shows didn't. And because it did, it just exploded. At one point, they did an episode where Michelle Obama shows up on it.
I'm on iCarly! With the success of iCarly, Dan is able to consolidate power at Nickelodeon in a whole new way. And this is around the time that the Disney Channel starts truly competing with Nickelodeon. They had massive hits like Hannah Montana and The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. So as Nickelodeon is facing all of this competition, Dan is their answer.
It really launches Dan into this whole new level of stardom.
He's Dan Schneider, a man with a gift.
Now we have Paranormal Files up next with some more devastating news on who was working in the Nickelodeon sets. Just a heads up, it was not just one abuser.
The fourth member of the Nickelodeon Creep Club, Jason M. Handy, is a creep and a disturbed individual. This is Jason Handy. He was a production assistant on a bunch of different shows with Nickelodeon, like All That, and The Amanda Show, which also involved Dan Schneider, if you know, you know. But Jason was a particularly shocking individual. On April 12, 2003, he was arrested at his home in California and charged with performing a lewd act with a child under the age of 14. Apparently, in the year 2000, Jason had kissed and touched a 9-year-old girl. And after his first arrest, he was arrested again a few days later based on charges from Michigan. Apparently, he had tried to solicit a child under the age of 16 to perform immoral acts with him. And this investigation revealed a lot about Jason. Apparently, he had been hunting for children to abuse in all the places that he frequented, like his church, the internet, and more disturbingly, and hopefully not, at Nickelodeon Studios where he was employed. But Jason knew who he was. In his private journal that was seized by investigators, he had written down the words, "I'm a pedophile, full blown." When they searched his apartment, they also found over 1,000 photos of minors that he had snapped while peeking his camera at the elementary school that he lived across the street from. He was eventually sentenced to 6 years in prison, and his case basically started the charge for people to get more intense background checks before they work for children's shows. But as we've seen over the years, this hasn't always worked. The fourth member of the Nickelodeon Creep Club, Jason M. Handy, is a creep and a disturbed individual. This is Jason Handy. He was a production assistant on a bunch of different shows with Nickelodeon, like All That, and The Amanda Show, which also involved Dan Schneider, if you know, you know. But Jason was a particularly shocking individual. On April 12, 2003, he was arrested.
Anisha Lynn is giving us the tea with this one. It was not just producers or a stage crew that was the problem. Check out one of their special guests doing a cameo.
Diddy gives these two boys right here a helicopter to put in a boy's pants to wake him up because they are unable to wake him up. So they go and they put this helicopter in this boy's pants, and then they come back to Diddy and said he didn't wake up, it didn't work. Then Diddy gives them a remote control and says, "Here, try this." And they turn it on, and obviously that makes the boy wake up screaming. I was like, oh my gosh. Like, this rabbit hole just keeps getting deeper and deeper, and now we got Diddy thrown in this mix. Ugh. And this isn't even it. This is the same episode where they did the skit of Little Fetus. And if you think back to Quiet on Set, Brian talked about how he was the child actor playing Little Fetus, and he was upset because they were making fun of his skin color, and he was also uncomfortable wearing that skin-tight outfit because he was a growing boy, and you could basically see everything through that outfit. I'm just going to roll you guys this clip so you guys can see how inappropriate this episode of All That featuring P. Diddy actually was.
In situations like this, I always ask myself, what would P. Diddy do? What would P. Diddy do? No, I don't know. Hey, let's ask him. Oh, okay. P. Diddy?
What's up?
We can't wake up Shane.
You try symbols?
Yep.
What about sour milk?
Didn't work.
Tell you what. Take this toy helicopter. Put it down his pants.
All right, we'll do it. We'll do. All right, come on, put it in. Nothing. Didn't work. He's still asleep.
Try this.
Shall I? By all means. Today on TRL, P. Diddy will be checking in. So, do you have a question for P. Diddy? I see. All right, let's bring him out here. P. Diddy! What's up, P. Diddy?
What?
How are you?
I can't hear a word you're saying.
Stop it!
Like I was saying, well, we all know about today's new youngest rap stars like Lil Bow Wow, Lil Romeo, etc.
He's not a person!
Anyway, right now, I'm very proud to introduce you my latest discovery. He's the newest, youngest piece of talent I've ever found in the history of rap music. He goes by the name of Little Fetus.
Wait. This is Lil Fetus?
No.
I'm Lil Fetus's manager and mother.
Stop it!
See, this Little Fetus, he's in here.
Yeah, that's right. Woo.
Right in there.
I can feel him kicking it right now.
All right, well, let's hook you up to a sonogram so we can all meet Lil Fetus! Man!
All right, here he is in a world premiere TR Yell exclusive. Turn on that monitor, y'all, and meet my man, Little Fetus!
Yo. Little Fetus in the womb, yeah.
What's up, my man? Can you hear me in there?
Coming in loud and clear, P. Diddy. So, what's it like living in your mom's belly? It's tight. Oh, so you like it? No, man, it's too tight. I can't move. I gotta bust out of this belly.
Oh, wait a minute. You're not going anywhere until we finish this tour.
That is messed up.
Hey, Little Fetus, how about performing your new single for us right now?
I'd love to.
All right. Y'all give it up for my man, Little Fetus. Hit it, Little Fetus.
Yo. Little Fetus in the womb, yeah. Little Fetus in the house, go on, tell your mom, get up, kick back, cause in the belly I'm a bomb.
So you might wonder, how did this all happen and what changed? The news says he was untouchable. But what changed all that? The QC, The Wonder, is going to let us know how.
About Dan Schneider. For decades, Dan seemed like he was untouchable. But around 2017, the internet videos around Dan really started gaining momentum.
He made them do things that were very weird.
There are all these setups that reference porn, like squirting goo on Jamie Lynn's face when she's just 13 years old.
Feel these kids' feet. Wow, they're really soft.
People were looking back at old scenes and saying, Dan Schneider is obsessed with feet. Check this
It's all
out.
very gross and foul things.
to escape children's feet.
Dan Schneider.
Absolutely disgusting.
He's a grown-ass man. What the are you doing?
There's one video of Ariana Grande making a joke about a potato.
Sometimes I wonder if you can get juice from a potato.
Did that air on Nickelodeon?
Come on, give up the juice.
Yikes.
I'm thirsty.
In another video, Ariana's pouring water on herself in what seems like a very sexual manner. And people started saying, this feels inappropriate for children.
Looking at Dan Schneider's stars, some of them became extremely famous. Some of them really struggled publicly.
After her arrest last week.
Now, some of them are starting to speak out about what happened when they were on his sets.
I worked with an incredibly emotionally abusive producer.
I did not feel safe around Dan Schneider while I was working at Nickelodeon.
All of this information has made us wonder, what was happening behind the scenes.
As a reporter at Insider, I wanted to investigate further.
I've been waiting for someone to question the climate. It's been a long time coming.
I didn't feel safe to say, this hurt me.
The bad just doesn't go away. The bad stays for a lifetime.
It was a toxic, unsafe environment.
I can't sit on it anymore. I can't watch it continue.
I want people to be accountable.
I've been waiting 17 years for today.
Another special thanks to the people who posted these videos: Brute America, Celeb Spill, Joy Sparkle Shine. Because of individuals like these, victims finally have the ability to speak up and be heard. Let's listen to them.
At age 12, Alexa Nicholas was cast as Nicole Bristow on Zoe 101, alongside Jamie Lynn Spears. During her run on the series, she claims that she didn't feel safe and faced numerous alleged abuses at the hands of Nickelodeon executives. This week, she staged a protest outside of the company's headquarters with Eat Predators, an organization she started that advocates for survivors of sexual abuse. She's calling for Nickelodeon to eliminate non-disclosure agreements for child actors and to investigate Dan Schneider's production company, as well as other network execs. The protest follows allegations by former iCarly actress Jeanette McCurdy, who in her new memoir details the alleged abuses she endured from higher-ups at the company. Nicholas hopes that Nickelodeon can redeem itself, but pointed out on Instagram that the network has yet to respond to the allegations from Jeanette or herself.
Ariana Grande has reacted to the latest documentary about Nickelodeon. This comes after the release of the viral documentary series, which is titled Quiet on Set: The Dark Side of Kids TV. Now, attention has been drawn to certain scenes in shows created by Dan Schneider, suggesting they may be inappropriate for young child stars like Ariana Grande and Jamie Lynn Spears. Dan Schneider, however, denies any intentional wrongdoing. On social media, fans are urging high-profile Nickelodeon stars such as Ariana Grande to address the situation. One fan spoke up on this and said, "Why isn't Ariana Grande speaking up? She's the most famous Nickelodeon star of all. Her speaking up could really make a huge impact. She needs to do it to honor all of the victims." Another person said, "I am not on Dan's side, but I don't think fans should pressure Ariana to come forward and speak up. She might simply not want to. She might suffer from trauma. She might be under a heavy NDA. Don't judge her. You don't know her reasons, and it's none of your business." Recently, Ariana seemingly hinted at her stance on this through a subtle Instagram comment, beneath a quote stating, "The truth always comes out in the end, no matter how hard anyone tries to hide it or stop it. Lies are just a temporary delay to the inevitable." Ariana made a comment underneath this quote. In her comment, she put 2 hearts. Fans interpreted this as her way of saying she doesn't like Dan, and she's glad that the alleged truth about him is coming out. Given Ariana's potential legal constraints due to past agreements with Nickelodeon, it's unlikely she'll openly speak out against Dan. Instead, she may continue to subtly indicate her disapproval to her fans, like how she did in this comment. A spokesperson from Dan's team addressed the press regarding the allegations, stating, "Every aspect of the shows Dan oversaw underwent rigorous scrutiny by numerous adults involved in the production process and were approved by the network. If there were genuine issues with certain scenes, they would have been addressed and removed. However, these scenes continue to be broadcast globally and enjoyed by both children and parents. All aspects of the shows were thoroughly vetted and approved by network executives, standards and practices groups, and parents on set. Adult interpretations of children's shows may lead to misconceptions." For this video's comment question, do you think it's wrong for people to pressure stars who worked with Dan to speak up?
Wait, they're canceling the show? I say, unable to hide my glee. Yep, we knew you'd be excited, Agent number 1 says. Best part is, Agent number 2 starts in, pausing for dramatic effect. I swear agents are the best performers. They're offering you $300,000. I pause. This doesn't sound right to me. Why? Manager number 2 chimes in. I can tell he feels intimidated by the rest of the men, so by the time he finally chimes in, whatever he says spills out rapidly, as if he's been prepping himself to say it, working up the confidence while the others have been talking. We'll think of it like a thank you gift, he blurts out in one mushed-together phrase. He lets out a sigh of relief after he spits it out, like he's done his part and now he doesn't have to speak again for the rest of the call. A thank you gift? I'm suspicious. Yeah, a thank you gift, manager number 1 repeats. They're giving you $300,000, and the only thing they want you to do is never talk publicly about your experience at Nickelodeon, specifically related to the creator. No, I say immediately and instinctively. A long pause. No? Agent number 3 finally asks. Hell no. It's free money, manager number 1 offers. No, it's not. This isn't free money. This feels to me like hush money. A strange silence. One of them clears their throat. Through the years, I've slowly learned that the entertainment business is one where what's being said is rarely what's being talked about. This way of operating not only disagrees with me, but seems genuinely impossible for me to adapt to. Everyone else seems so able to position things discreetly and choreograph their phrasing so that the heartbeat of what's being said is delicately danced around. But what winds up happening is that I usually just don't understand what's being talked about and have to ask outright. There are occasional times, however, where I do get exactly what's happening, like this time right now. And in these instances, instead of asking outright what's going on, I'll just say it. The results vary. Sometimes it's laughter, sometimes it's discomfort. This time it's discomfort. Well, I wouldn't think of it that way if I were you, Manager number 1 says with a nervous laugh. That's what it is, though. I'm not taking hush money. Well, okay, if you're sure, Agent number 1 or number 2 says. Their voices are indiscernible. And with that, they all hang up. Click, 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 until I'm the only one left on the conference call line. I hang up too and sit on the edge of my bed. What the fuck? Nickelodeon is offering me $300,000 in hush money to not talk publicly about my experience on the show? My personal experience of the creator's abuse? This is a network with shows made for children. Shouldn't they have some sort of moral compass? Shouldn't they at least try to report to some sort of ethical standard? I lean back against the headboard of my bed and cross my legs out in front of me. I extend my arms behind my head and rest them there in a gesture of pride. Who else would have the moral strength? I just turned down $300,000. Wait. I just turned down $300,000. That's a lot of money. I've made a decent amount on this Sam and Cat spinoff, but definitely not enough that $300,000 doesn't make a difference. Shit. Maybe I should have taken it.
All right, now that we've heard from the victims and survivors of these horrific crimes, let's hear the apology. This is brought to you by Metro UK. All right, let's hear it. What does Dan Snyder have to say?
It was wrong. It was wrong that I ever put anybody in that position. It was the wrong thing to do. I'd never do it today. I'm embarrassed that I did it then. I apologize to anybody that I ever put in that situation. And even additionally, I apologize to the people who were walking around Video Village or wherever they happened, because there were lots of people there who witnessed it who also may have felt uncomfortable. So I owe them an apology as well.
Yeah. Dan, talk to me about the writer's room. From what I saw, not cool.
No, and I don't mean to cut you off, but if I can cut right to the chase, let me just say, no writer should ever feel uncomfortable in any writer's room, ever, period, the end, no excuses. Most TV writers, comedy writers have been in writers' rooms, and they are aware that a lot of times there are inappropriate jokes made and inappropriate topics come up. But the fact that I participated in that, especially when I was leading the room, it embarrasses me. I shouldn't have done it.
Although this has been a pretty dark video, I do want to brighten it with the knowledge that not all the adults working at Nickelodeon had bad intentions. Thanks to Fluffy Fluffy, we can see there was actually a hero that stood above all the others. His name is Jerry Trainer, and I just want to say I hope he is happy and blessed and doing amazing today.
Pictures of him obviously inserting himself in between Dan Schneider and his child cast members, but he would even confront Schneider.
Let us go home, Dan!
It was in a joking manner, of course, because Dan Schneider would fire anybody that would actually oppose him, but if you take a look at the footage, he's obviously not necessarily 100% kidding. And although Trainer would go on to direct some episodes of iCarly, even if he wasn't called at all, Trainer would always be on set, behind the camera, keeping an eye on all of his cast members to make sure they were okay. In Jeanette McCurdy's memoir, she stated that Trainer treated everybody like family, and he would do everything to protect them. And because, of course, Trainer was one of the first people to congratulate McCurdy on her book, and even recently, with the release of the documentary, Trainer almost immediately unfollowed Nickelodeon on all platforms and has reportedly cut ties with the studio. Remember, this is a guy who is not on 1, not 2, but 3 hit shows connected to Nickelodeon, 4 if you count this one. So one of Nick's biggest stars cutting ties with the studio is a pretty big deal. Everything that has come since the release of this documentary is heartbreaking. So it's nice to hear that there are at least some good people left in this business. Alright, that's all for today. Follow for more.
And now, before we part ways, I ask you to share your thoughts in the comments. Did this video stir up anything in your soul? Or perhaps you find yourself questioning the allegations? Let us know. Your thoughts are the catalyst for future discussions, so let your voice be heard. Until next time, stay safe out there, friends.